Hey, what's up, everybody? It's good to be with you again. My name is Gabe. If I've not had a chance to meet you, what is up? Gotta start things out with a special shout out to all our friends in Ottawa, as well as Kinston, Kansas, and Olathe. Also our friends in Hero Squad, and those of you watching online, whether you're at home, you're watching on a tablet, maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're up in a mountain, maybe you're in a spaceship. Wow, that'd be pretty neat. Like, hey, who knows where you're at? We got people all over the place, but we are glad that you're able to be with us today, and I'm excited to be with you. And I've got a question for you, have you ever heard something that's kind of been a little bit unbelievable? You're like, are you sure that's true? Now, when I was your age, there used to be a TV show that we would watch, and it was called Ripley's Believe It or Not. And each week they'd have stuff on there, and you'd be like, do I believe it or do I not believe it? Like, they'd say that this person did this or they did that, and you're like, And you each week would have to watch and think, okay, are they telling the truth or they're not? You know, way back in the day, there used to be carnivals and things that would happen, and people would make like fake animals and different things just to bring people in. So it got people being curious about, well, is that real? You're just trying to get my attention, or is it something that really has happened? So here's a question for you. Did you know that someone has climbed all the way up to Mount Everest wearing a tank top? Okay, that's not true. But did you know that someone who was in a wheelchair was able to go up to one of the highest mountains ever? And they actually did it twice. Yeah, that is true. Did you also know that someone was able to climb up to the highest mountains and they were only 13 years old? Yeah, do the math on that. How old are you? And they're 13? Like, you might be really close, just a few years. Like, that's pretty amazing. There are some things that have been done that you are like blown away on. There's all kinds of interesting facts. And I wonder for you, what is something that you've heard that's pretty interesting? What is something that you've heard that you're like, I don't know if that's true, but then you're able now that you can see the video or you can see pictures of it, or someone that you trust and know is able to tell you that, no, I'm telling you it's true, that makes all the difference in the world. Is there something like that for you? And what is it that you've heard that maybe you didn't know is true, but you now believe is true? And why is that? Let me know what you think. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. Move over. Okay. Oh wow, that is cool. Yeah. Hey, hold on. Hey, listen, my friend Jack, he's sharing with me. See, he's at the beach right now, and he's showing me there's like dolphins. Yeah, what? Okay. And like the way the sun, it's awesome. Hey, I'm gonna talk to you in a little bit. Okay, all right, thanks. How cool is it that we could share things with other people? Like, I'm able to connect with my friend Jack, and he's all the way on the beach, and he's seeing all kinds of cool stuff. Well, because he was able to share it with me, he was able to send it to me. Man, think how things have changed now that we're able to have phones and we can live chat, we can send pictures. Man, we are able to share some information that maybe we otherwise wouldn't have known. Maybe we wouldn't have believed people. Now, we were talking about things that might seem a little bit unbelievable. We're talking about things that maybe, I don't know, is that true or not? And you had some interesting things that you're talking about. But I love the fact that my friend Jack was able to share with me what he was experiencing, where he was at. And I feel that connection with him. I feel like I was there. Have you ever been to a sporting event? Well, maybe you weren't able to go, but your friend was there, and they were able to connect with you and be like, man, you gotta watch this, and they'd hold it up. Or maybe you'd be at some other kind of thing. It's so important that we are able to experience things together, and I think that really connects us. And nowadays, with computers and sending emails and texts and all that stuff that we talked about, that we can experience that together. What is something that you've experienced with somebody that maybe you weren't there, but actually you can now kind of say that you were a part of it because you can see it? I'm going to tell you something that really means a lot to me, is that one of the heroes of my life is my grandpa, as well as my grandma. We were able to live with them. They helped raise me. I love them so much. And my grandpa was a soldier in World War II. He was all the way in France, and he actually got injured over there, and he spent like a year in the hospital. And the reason I bring that up to you is this, is that to this day, I'm able to read letters that he was able to write to my grandma. And he might write a letter every couple days. I got a box full of them. And it's amazing to look at these letters and he could share what he was seeing. He'd talk about the food that he was eating, talk about some of the stuff around him, the people, the things, the smells, the sights, everything. And how him and my grandma were able to stay connected and share things for well over a year by just sharing that correspondence. And now you think about today is you can share live videos and you can share videos and everything else. And it sure makes a difference to be able to communicate with someone and connect with them. So what is that you've connected with someone about? And what is it that you are so glad that you've been able to share that experience with someone else? I think it's awesome that there's so many different ways that we can be connected, and it's interesting hearing some of the different things that you've shared from your friends and family and how you've stayed connected. I know for me that if things have kind of changed this last year or so, that my daughter, who is on a volleyball team, she's number 4, go KC Lightning, yes. But hey, all her games this whole season, I wasn't able to go to one of them. But I was able to watch on my tablet, on our TV Connect things, and I found myself cheering and rooting for the team in my living room, yelling and going, yes! Even though I wasn't there, I was still connected. I was still able to cheer her on. I was still able to be a part of the team. And it's so amazing that there are ways that we can be connected. And when I think about being connected, I think about what we've been talking about, what we started talking about last week. And we celebrated last week Easter, Resurrection Sunday, the best day of the year. It's the day that Jesus rose again. It's the day that he rose from the dead after paying the penalty for us. And as we started on our verse, Ephesians 2 verse 8, for it says, for it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And it is not of yourself, it is the gift of God. And I think about how Easter can really be tied into a gift. And how the greatest gift that we have is God's grace through his son Jesus. That definitely is the greatest gift that we can have and is the greatest way for us to be connected. And when I think of being connected, I think of lots of different things. What do you think about when you hear of something being connected? And what comes to mind, and when you hear connected, what do you actually connect thinking about it? Now, when I think of connection, one thing comes to mind. And I don't know about you, but the thing that comes to my mind is Legos. Yeah, Legos, you know. Whether you have some Star Wars Legos or you just have the normal Legos, you can make cars, you can make airplanes, you can make boats, you can make all kinds of different things. I love Legos. Do you know that you can take some of the original Legos, like all the way back from when I was your age, and you can take some of the new ones now, and they connect. They're still made where you can take this one and this one, so you can take apart from a Star Wars thing. You can take apart from maybe something that you're making from a friend's kind of little house, and then you can take some from the blocks that I used, and they all connect together. They're still able to connect together, and that's what I think of when I think of connection. And that really goes along with what we've been talking about, and something that's so important. And as we've been talking about our memory verse, Ephesians 2 verse 8, and don't forget, it says, for it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And it is not of yourself, it is the gift of God. And we talked about how important that was and what Jesus did for us on Easter. And it makes me think of some Legos. So let's go with this. I got giant Legos here. And as you can see on this one, it says Jesus. And I definitely think that Jesus, when it comes to Legos, would definitely be right there. That is a piece that we definitely can connect to. And so as we have Jesus, we also have his grace. Grace is what we can say that, hey, we don't get what we deserve through God's grace. And we think that for that. So if we're able to put those together, we have Jesus and we have the grace that we receive. But what's most important is what? It's our faith. And it's our faith that is able to connect us. And our faith is so important that we have faith in Jesus and what he's done for us. And remember, it's what he's done for us, not what we have done, because it's not by us, it is the gift of God. Remember that? But wait, there's even more. It's because of that faith that we can live. We can live a life that trusts in God. We can live a life that knows that Jesus has paid that penalty for us. We can live that life knowing that there is strength and trust and hope in what Jesus has done for us. I'm glad that I can connect through that. But yet, here's what's great. Hold on. We can grow. I don't know about you, but you know what? We're always growing. We still can grow. We can grow in that faith. Now, whether you are in first grade and seventh grade, or you're as old as me, or your grandma, grandpa, or even as old as cousin Ray Ray, hey, we always can grow in our faith. But it's because our faith is standing on Jesus. So let's remember that it's through our faith that we can live in Jesus. We can grow in Jesus. And also, we can share. We can share that faith. And when we share that faith, that is something that connects us to everyone around the world. Doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in, doesn't matter how much money you have or the color of your skin, none of that matters, because see, everything is built upon Jesus. And when we have our faith in Jesus, we can live a life through him. We can grow in that life, and we can share that life to others. And you know what? That is quite a connection, a solid connection. And I know that when you put some things together, and we're talking about connection, that's the best thing that we can be connected to, because I know for sure there's some things I've made with some Legos and they've just kind of fallen apart. I know that when we put our connection in this, we don't have to worry about it falling apart. We don't have to worry about it coming unconnected. So I want to ask you, how can we have our faith in Jesus? How can we be connected in that? And how important is it to live in our faith with Jesus? How important is it to grow in our faith with Jesus? And how important is it to share our faith in Jesus? Tell me what you think. And how have you lived that life? And how can you grow in that life? And how can you share the most important thing is our faith in Jesus?